Good morning everybody, welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, or welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome to this new video right here, this alt season update. I always give the disclaimer that at this point of time we are not in an alt season, but this serves as a full and an absolute update on altcoins right now. How are they looking? We'll talk about some specific altcoins in this video as well, because I wanted to show you, what makes me relatively optimistic about altcoins right now, which, I might be one of the only ones right now talking optimistically about altcoins. But I think we have to be. I mean, I think the price action has actually not been disastrous for altcoins bundled together, right? I mean, obviously, like there've been major altcoin decreases, and there've been some very bad moves over the course of the last 2 weeks. That is definitely true, but there have been good moves as well. And ultimately, altcoins don't look too bad. And when we're talking about the fundamentals around the crypto markets, I don't think you can call those incredibly bearish as well. I mean, if you look at the, if we quickly switch over to equities, like the S&P 500 is almost back at the previous all-time highs, right? I think the S&P 500 here actually already, well, no, almost there. But the volatility index is also decreasing back to the same levels as where it was at the start of October, which, if you might remember, those times were quite good. And gold is also continuing the pullback, right? Which is ultimately good for risky assets, right? So the fundamentals are not too bad. And then when we're talking about the structure here on the total 3, you can see after the crash on Friday, we have actually, well, Friday 2 weeks ago, we actually have been able to form some sort of stability. We got one spike down to the yearly rolling VWAP, but that was a very good reaction we got from there. And from there, we were able to reclaim back into the range. And right now, we're also seeing some momentum coming back in, still within the range. Right, so I don't want to get overly optimistic, and I do think that, when we're talking about the fundamentals looking quite good right now, we're obviously one bad news headline away from dropping back down, right? So the markets are very fragile, but within that fragility, we're seeing some strength, right? We're seeing some strength of total 3 rallying up to the top of this range right here. So there's already some upsides in that. We're seeing Bitcoin for the first time actually, having some sort of a chance to find a range low and getting some constructive price action instead of just that up and down price action we had over the course of the rest of the week. This looks quite good, and we're respecting levels we need to be respecting quite well as well. So technically, it's not looking too bad. Fundamentally, it's not looking too bad either, and we are actually seeing here and there, we're seeing some instances of altcoins already doing well. So some of the examples that I wanted to give. But first of all, like my bias on altcoins, look, I'm like a hawk. I'm focused on news feeds, right? So if anything fundamentally changes, I will turn bearish, right? And I'll turn bearish in the blink of an eye, if that's the right thing to say. But ultimately, right now, I am constructively optimistic. I think that the total 3, so altcoins in general, can rally up higher. Do I think we will break out? No, not necessarily, but I do think we have a higher chance to get a bullish breakout, given the fundamentals and given some of the price action we're seeing across the markets, than a bearish breakout, right? So I'm cautiously optimistic. And some of the examples that make me a little bit more optimistic as well are things like, well, Luna Classic. I'm not sure if that's the best example, but something like Avantis, for example, like a move like this. This is starting an uptrend, at least for now. This is a move you only get in bullish market circumstances. And there's more. I mean, a high volume move like we had this morning on virtuals, that is what I want to see. I want to see some volume. I want to see some strong moves. Hyperliquid trying to reclaim that level at $40. That's what you want to see, all right? We're seeing some early signs of momentum in the markets as well. And that, in combination with the other things we spoke about in this video, make me cautiously optimistic. Now, I'll keep you updated on that, of course, but that is what I think you need to know for now. And those are at least my thoughts regarding the markets. So let's hope on some major moves today. We have inflation rate data coming out, by the way, today, which could also serve as a bad news headline. Be aware of this. This is going to cause major volatility. For those of you who are still watching this video right now, congrats, because I should have spoken about this earlier. It's very important. It's at 12:30 UTC. It's going to be very volatile. We want to see lower than expected inflation rate data. That's it for now. Thank you for watching. Take care and bye.